Hello, my embarrassment of pandas. Welcome to Panda Propaganda. I'm your host, Christian Valencia, and today we have a good amount of things to talk about. A good amount, I mean, it's 4 articles, but who cares? I've been looking back at the footage of the past episodes, and I realized I kind of talk fast, and by kind of, I mean I actually do talk fast, so I'm going to try to speak slower just so whatever information I give out is not being overlooked and not being ignored because you're trying to focus on the current thing I'm saying and you completely forgot about the last thing I was saying. So, in the realm of movies, we have Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City is announced, excuse me. In the realm of gaming, we have a new expansion to the Pokemon TCG called Chilling Reign. In the realm of music, we have Jack Harlow is to release a song with another artist, but he simply won't say who, and a massive protest at the Spotify office occurs. Now, at the end of the episode, we will be talking about something that's kind of funny but kind of important at the same time, and that is how to prepare for an apocalypse. Now, let me just elaborate on that right now. I'm not paranoid. I don't think that the world is gonna end in any way, shape, or form anytime soon, but I do believe that the world is extremely unpredictable, and in the age where nuclear weapons are easily accessible to everyone, and by everyone I mean the world's governments, you never know what's gonna happen. So it's an important thing. So let's get into today's episode. Yes, and we'll talk about that later. So in the realm of movies, we have Resident Evil: Welcome to Raccoon City. Now, if you don't know, Resident Evil is a zombie-based first-person shooter, or sometimes it's first-person. It's really actually third-person shooting, released by Capcom back in the late '90s, early 2000s. And within the early 2000s, I would say the game really took off in popularity, and even to this day, you can ask anyone, have you ever heard of Resident Evil? More than likely, 9 out of 10 people are going to say, yes, I've heard of Resident Evil. Resident Evil is an extremely popular franchise, and rightfully so. They took the concept of zombies, made it scary as fuck, and now we have Resident Evil. It's such a great idea, and Capcom is one of my favorite companies. They made games like Street Fighter, The Darkstalkers, Resident Evil, and overall they did a bang up job with Resident Evil, so I applaud them for that. Now, in the early 2000s, I would say, they decided, because to capitalize on the popularity of the franchise, to make a bunch of movies. Now, the movies weren't bad. I genuinely enjoyed the movies. However, like many movies based off video games, it didn't stay true to the source material. Now, if a movie does stay true to the source material, which is the video game, it's usually bad. Like the Street Fighter movie, the Mario Bros movie, the Blade movie. Really, any movie that's based off a video game is more than likely going to be terrible. And I've said this before. It's just common knowledge that you shouldn't really expect much from a movie based off a video game. However, the primary point of making the movies was not to stay true to the video games. And even if they tried, they failed at doing so, but in turn creating a separate timeline and franchise, which really was a success. This movie, announced at South by Southwest by the director, whose name I'm forgetting because I always forget to write down the names, was released, and he said Resident Evil, the video games themselves, were actually a massive success, and they were worth the time and effort put into them. Of course they were. And he decided that in order to appreciate the value and the sort of culture that's created, he's decided to stick to the source material and really honor the video games, primarily the first two, in this new movie called Welcome to Raccoon City. Now, from what I read, I don't think this has any relation to the previous movies that were released in the early 2000s. However, I could be wrong. I don't think so. Um, Now, if you don't know the story of Resident Evil, basically the world is controlled by a bunch of people called the Umbrella Corporation, who's led by Albert Wesker. And forgive me, I haven't brushed up on Resident Evil in so long, so if this is wrong, I apologize. But the Umbrella Corporation created a virus called the T virus, which was an accidental outbreak and infected the entire world. And now everyone is a zombie, so except for a couple people. It's basically your stereotypical zombie survival game, but like way more badass because there's different types of zombies. Kind of like Left 4 Dead, but the zombies are tougher than the ones in Left 4 Dead because you take a bullet to the head in Left 4 Dead. In Left 4 Dead, if you take a bullet to the fucking air next to your arm, you're dead. If you're a zombie. In Resident Evil, you could take 9 fucking clips of ammunition to the head and you'll still be like, huh, there's a slight breeze in here. I don't know why I did it like that. I'm sorry. But yes, the director said that in order to stay true and appreciate the first 2 movies, he is going to be staying true to them. And Raccoon City is, I believe, the second game in the franchise. And this is where he wants it to take place because Raccoon City is arguably one of, if not the most famous Resident Evil locations. So I'm very excited to see that. I remember when Resident Evil 6 was released and me being scared to absolute death from it, but god damn, it was such a good game. I didn't get to play it that much because it was my uncle's, but whenever I would see him play it, I would just kind of be scared because I think that zombies are real, but at the same time I was enamored by it. I freaking love the Resident Evil series, both the movies and the games. And so I'm very, very excited for that to be released. Now, in the realm of gaming, we already have a new expansion to the Pokemon TCG called Chilling Reign. Now, on March 19th, which at the time of this recording was only 3 days ago, we got another expansion called Pokemon Battle Styles, which was based off the DLC in Sword and Shield, which name I'm forgetting as well. But now we only have to wait until June for this next expansion called Chilling Reign. And Chilling Reign is based off the Crown Tundra DLC, which was released to Pokemon Sword and Shield on Nintendo Switch back in October of 2020. Now, I think I speak for everyone who loves collecting the cards and the TCG in general when I say this is a huge problem. Why is this a huge problem? Now, of course, we already know the situation that's going on with the Pokemon TCG. No one can get their hands on anything because these people called scalpers. If you don't know what a scalper is anyone, primarily someone who has a lot of money to spend. This person goes to a retailer who sells Pokemon cards, Pokemon packs, booster boxes, blister packs, etc. And they buy as much as they can, as much as they allow themselves or as the store allows, preventing others from purchasing these Pokemon packs and stuff. Now, this is a problem because these dickwads are deciding, hey, no one should care about anyone else. Let me take all of these. And it's extremely difficult. I personally have not seen an English Pokemon pack in maybe 3-4 months. So yeah, it's definitely irritating knowing that there are people who just have the money, some of them who don't even care about the game, who are just getting in there, taking everything because a couple of celebrities decided to start it. Now, I'm not mad at these celebrities. I just think that the influence that they have had an unintended consequence, which were these people who absolutely worship and adore them, trying to be like them. And now we're in the situation that we are. Other than that terrible thing I just discussed, I'm actually very excited for this new expansion. Hopefully I can get my hands on a pack or two. I have not been able to get a single pack of the new set, which honestly kind of sucks because there's a Tyranitar alternate art that everyone wants and I want it too. But I don't know what I'm doing. I'm sorry. I'm just kind of stressed out knowing It might take a while if we're ever lucky for this to die down and go back to the way it was, where supply met demand and everything was in perfect balance. You're going to hear me talk about this a lot because it's annoying as hell. So, in the realm of music, we have two articles to discuss, and that is Jack Harlow is to release a new song, but the guy won't tell us who it is with. Now, typically, I personally have never heard of Jack Harlow up until I was scrolling through the news cycle and I saw this, and I saw 4 big names, and that's when I decided to talk about this. That's when I first found out about Jack Harlow. Now, Jack Harlow has teased at releasing a new song with one of 4 people: Drake, Jay-Z, Andre 3000, the lead singer of Outkast, or Eminem. That's the primary reason I'm talking about this, because it's fucking Eminem. Come on, man. Like, you really think I'm not going to talk about this? It's Eminem. Come on. Get with the program. But, yes. Now, I'm going to give you my take on this and really tell you why I think it's not Eminem, first of all. The reason I think it's not Eminem is because Eminem, ever since the quote-unquote failure that was Revival, which I don't think it was a failure. I personally love the album. But after the criticism that Revival kind of got, Eminem decided to go with this tactic, which it's kind of working out for him. And I personally like it because it always keeps me on my feet. Which was not to spend any money on publicizing or announcing an album. What he does is he records it, he puts it all together, cleans it up, and he releases it whenever the hell he wants to. That's it. That's all he does. And it's been working out so far. I mean, his point of doing that is he doesn't want people to hate the album before they even hear it. Like, again, what happened with Revival, he released the song list, and people were already giving the album bad reviews. They had never heard the audio, none of the artists on there, and yet they were already hating on it, which kind of sucks because Eminem is definitely a legend within the rap and music game in general. But now that he's gotten older, people are kind of saying, "Oh, he's outdated. He's irrelevant." Yeah. And that showed with Revival, and ever since then, the first time he did this was with Kamikaze, and ever since then, it's just been working out. I believe he didn't announce his collaboration with Logic, although he might have. And if he did, then more than likely people hated that before they even heard it anyway. So that's why I don't think it's Eminem. When it comes to Drake and Jay-Z, those are 2 very, very big names. These are some of the most successful rappers in the game ever. And this is honestly my opinion, but with Drake and Jay-Z, I don't think they would want to collaborate with Jack Harlow. Not to say because they hate him or anything, but from my experience, they just aren't on the same level. Now, of course, I can be wrong. There are many instances where an artist collaborates with a smaller artist, such as Biggie and Eminem. I know you're getting tired of the Eminem anecdotes and stuff, but he's my favorite rapper. I know so much about him, so you're just gonna have to deal with it. That was weird. I'm sorry. And Andre 3000, honestly, I haven't heard a song from his band or him ever since Hey Ya. So that's that. Lastly, second to last in today's episode is an extremely massive protest. Yes, I had to use that many adjectives. Yes, at the Spotify office. Now, if you don't know Spotify, if you don't know, you might want to just sit on the rock you've been living under and observe the world for a little bit. Spotify is a music streaming platform and podcast streaming platform that is arguably one of the biggest platforms out there. I mean, it's well known around the world. some of the biggest artists, if not all of the biggest artists, are on there. Oh, it's a pretty big place. It's a $10 subscription a month to get every song on there for free. Well, technically not for free, but no ads, no nothing. I have a family plan. I share it with my mom's, sorry, and overall, it's a good thing. And Spotify, it really gives you access to every song out there for the most part. Of course, there's some songs that artists don't want to release, and in general, the idea of Spotify or any music streaming platform is a good idea, and Spotify definitely takes the cake as one of, if not the biggest out there, next to Apple Music, or maybe even above Apple Music. But that's not why we're talking about Spotify. We're talking about Spotify because a campaign named Justice at Spotify has been formed in order to protest the malbusiness practices Spotify does. Now, what can that be? To give you some context, Spotify had already been a valuable company pre-COVID. Why does pre-COVID matter? Because during the midst of the pandemic, Spotify's value increased 3 times its original amount. Now, again, Spotify was already one of the biggest companies out there, and the fact that it increased 3 times the amount meant they had a lot of money. They had it all. They could literally just make an entire house out of $100 bills, and it showered coins, and it worked. But I think you get my point. Spotify is one of the most valuable companies on the planet. Now, with that being said, this campaign named Justice Spotify had formed because it was revealed that even though they had grown 3 times their original value, Spotify was only paying their artists 0.0038 of 1 US penny per stream. So let me give you an example. If one song got 10 million streams, multiply 10 million times 0.0038, that artist would only get around $38,000. Now, of course, in a way, these artists are signing up for this because no one asked them to put their music on there. But of course, they're going to put their music on there. It's a giant platform. They want to reach more people. They're going to put their music on there. I think you have to pay to have your songs on there, which is why this podcast is not on Spotify, by the way. I don't know how much it is, and I don't want to risk it. But for giant artists such as Frank Ocean, Mana, Bad Bunny, Eminem, this isn't a big deal. But to artists who are sort of independent, up and coming, they kind of rely on the revenue from the music to come in from Spotify, and they have to pay to keep it on there. Now, of course, this is going to spark a huge problem, a huge protest and an uproar, and it did. The protest happened yesterday, I believe, March 21st. Well, I know March 21st. I believe it happened yesterday. And the campaign, since its initiation and its forming, has gained 28,000 signatures. Now, again, when it was revealed that Spotify had grown by a huge margin, and was revealed that they were only paying their artists the same amount, rightfully so, the people got upset. And I would say the protest was a success, but I haven't received word if Spotify is going to change their practices, whether they're going to start paying their artists more. It wasn't demanded how much more they would want to be paid. However, I personally would think maybe 50 cents per stream, maybe around $1. If I were them, I'm not saying that's the amount they should be paid. I'm just giving you my opinion on it. And we are finally going to talk about how to prepare for an apocalypse. Now, ladies and gentlemen, my embarrassment of pandas, let me just say this right now. As I clearly stated at the beginning of the episode, I am not paranoid. But again, I do believe the world is unpredictable, and anything can happen at any given moment. Hell, tomorrow I could wake up and all the nukes in the world have went off. Everyone's dead except me and my family. And my dogs. Because I love my dogs. And that can happen. Is it going to happen? I really doubt it. But hey, shit can go down. So, I'm here to help you prepare and tell you what you need for an apocalypse. Roll the clip. I'm kidding. It's just me. So, to begin, what I lost my list. I had a list here, and I can put. Is this it? Alright, we're just gonna go the way this podcast always goes and go off the dome. To begin, you will need about a gallon of water per person per day. So if there's 3 of you, you want to get around 3 gallons of water per day. Now, unless you're okay with not being hydrated, then maybe less. Maybe a gallon for 3 people. The recommended CDC and FDA, recommended CDC and FDA amount of water per human is a gallon of water per day to stay hydrated, not too low, not too much, because water intoxication is a thing. That's what you'll need. 1. Water. 2. Canned food or anything that's non-perishable. Now, you're going to have to give up a lot of amenities in an apocalypse. That means things you enjoy. Now, it is recommended that you do have some stress food to help you cope with whatever the fuck is going on there. Like if aliens decide to take over or zombies decide to happen. It's good that you have some stress food to help calm you down, but eventually you're going to need to have canned food because all in all, those are non-perishable. The quality does get worse eventually, but in the long run, they're going to help you. Make sure if you do have a comfort food, it doesn't keep you hydrated. If it makes you hungry a little bit, try to stay away from it, but if you can't, if you don't want to, that's fine. But make sure to conserve water, it doesn't dehydrate you. So things with high sodium content or high salt, avoid them. I was sad when I found out that I can't have chips as my comfort food because they have a lot of sodium. Again, you could understand my disappointment. Anyways, next you'll need spare clothes, any blankets, towels, toilet paper, because you're still human. You're still going to have to rid your body of whatever waste you've put into it. Of course, you're going to need something to disinfect surfaces, bleach, cleaning wipes. Now, at first you might think, why the hell would I need that? Eventually, wherever you're residing, you're going to have to leave. Whether it's because the aliens are hunting in that area or the zombies are going to overrun you, you're going to need to move different locations, and not knowing whether something is clean or not, you might just want to just wipe it down a little bit. Running shoes. In the coming days, you're going to be doing a lot of running. Whether the aliens are chasing you down or the zombies are deciding to be sprinters from Resident Evil or Dead by Daylight. Was it Dead by Daylight? Either way, you're going to be doing a lot of running. Now, gentlemen, that means no Gucci, okay? And ladies, that means no stilettos, okay? Are you listening? Make sure it's just running shoes, because you're going to be doing a lot of running. I can't repeat that. I can't stress that enough. Next, you're going to need some toothbrushes, and toothpaste. Now, you could be thinking, this is an apocalypse. Why the hell would I care about my hygiene, my dental hygiene? I'm trying to survive. Well, actually, it's been shown that there's direct correlation linkage with whatever goes on in your mouth to the rest of your body. And that makes sense. You eat through your body. Any bad crap that goes on in here can easily travel throughout the rest of your body and cause some major damage and even kill you. So next, and of course I'm forgetting a lot of things, but these are the primary things, any important papers. Now, in case the government decides to act useful and help these citizens, you're going to need to show ID, passport, and birth certificate, maybe even social, but those might be a little useless, so we don't know. And that's about it. Make sure you board up your windows. Get some dog food, by the way, if you have dogs, because they get hungry too. If it, I'm gonna go off on a tangent here. If only dogs require just love and hugs, my dogs would be obese. If that was just their food source, love and hugs and kisses, they would be obese. He's sleeping, so he didn't hear that. But, ladies and gentlemen, my embarrassment of pandas, that will complete today's episode. Sorry for the weird ending. I just decided that I should talk about that, mainly because I thought this episode was going to be too short. But, yeah, it's fine, right? 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 Yeah, they agree. If you haven't already, go follow the Instagram at _Panda Propaganda. Share, like, and subscribe. You know you gotta do that already. Come on, we gotta grow this podcast. We gotta get things going. Without anything else to say, I will see you tomorrow with a brand new video. Deuces.